Ulrich.
And
Doc, the surgeon, the people's doctor.
Doc, the surgeon, the people's doctor. You know, that never grows old on me. There's a part of me that smiles when I hear that. It's a great, what's the word you used before? Moniker? Is that the word you use, Ulrich?
I did.
Is that a moniker?
I guess, yeah, alias.
Yeah. Or it could be a PKA. Publicly, like me, I have a PKA. I'm publicly known as Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. So, we are going to talk about Andrew Tate. And we're also going to talk about Brittany Renner. And we're going to talk about Just Pearl. And she has Auntie... I feel bad. I don't remember Auntie's name, but it'll come up during the thing. We're not going to be... It's a 3-hour podcast. And Just Pearl has broken down into clips, like 20 different clips of this 3-hour podcast. Something that we will be doing with our podcast here. So we're going to at least try to get some time and just hear what has to be said. You guys know who Andrew Tate is, correct?
I know he used to be, he was a kickboxer, and now he's like I don't know, an influencer.
He's an influencer now, right? Yeah, he's a kickboxer. Now, when you say influencer, tell me what you mean.
I mean, he goes on kind of social media platforms and kind of, he gets his money from, I guess, talks, podcast tours or going on random shows. Or,
No, he gets no money from that.
To be honest, I don't know too much about him. I know he used to be a kickboxer,
Right.
And I know now he's all over YouTube, and I know who's influential in the manosphere. And
Okay, which he doesn't agree that he's part of the manosphere.
okay,
What do you know about Andrew Tate?
Well, pretty much the same thing that Ulrich just said. Kickboxer. At one time, he was the most searched person. As
Right.
known by him on
Most
YouTube
Googled
search.
person in the world, right? Yeah.
And you guys know how I feel about when somebody just pop out of nowhere and then all of a sudden they get all this traction. Almost make me always want to take a look at them a second time, because the easiest way to silence somebody is not to show them. So the fact that we see him a lot, he makes a lot of commentary that involves around masculinity. So I'm aware of that.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like his biggest voice, and he's got a lot of traction. He has a big influence on younger men. So I think he's kind of like coined with that. That part of the reason why.
How old is younger?
I think, the demographic was something like, under 21. You kind of like listen and kind of like gravitate towards him. And that was one of the fear of influences that he had, that they wanted to, cancel him because they felt some type of way about the message that the younger folks were going to get from him. So that's.
Do you know about him being canceled, Ulrich?
being canceled.
Yeah,
No.
canceled, where he's been deplatformed from YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and even had bank accounts frozen.
I did not know any of that.
Yes.
So now he's like Rumble now. What is he?
Rumble,
so-
which I bought.
Good
I
shit.
have 200 shares of Rumble
Oh yeah.
because of Andrew Tate. I went and ran and got some shares of Rumble.
I know my students know him. They actually one of them made fun of me. They called me Andrew Tate one time.
Wait.
Both bald.
How could that be making fun of you?
Because we don't look anything alike. We're both bald though. We have completely different faces.
So when they made fun of you, tell me what happened.
What do you mean? When
The
they-
circumstances.
They said I look like Andrew Tate. It was just straight up like a thing.
They just say you look like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, they say random off the cuff stuff constantly, so that's not necessarily a norm. They don't necessarily have setups at this age. They just
Okay,
say-
and if anyone didn't know, Ulrich is an educator. Doctor Surgeon, the people's doctor, is an actual MD. And I am a ex-chef, managing partner to a bar and club. And now I'm in the dispensary business. And we bring different perspectives here. Ulrich is my friend for about 3 years. And the doctor surgeon is my friend for about 20. I don't know if it's 20, but it's a long time, more than a long time, since the 90s, late 90s. And what I know about Andrew Tate is I remember saying when Kevin Samuels died, I said, Andrew Tate is up next. And I remember calling the doc and telling him on the phone, yo, you got to check out this Andrew Tate thing. And he says to me, yeah, but what about Stinko? Ain't Stinko up next? And I says, nah, that's over.
Who's a Stinko? Who's a
Sneeko.
Sneeko?
I call him Stinko. Dang, and that's Freudian. I didn't even mean that. Totally Freudian. Sneeko was a young man who came up with this 1-minute podcast thing he was doing in the train stations of New York City. And he did really, really well with it. Got a lot of respect with it. And he had a few viral moments that happened with unattractive, angry women was like coming at him for being that guy with the microphone in somebody's face trying to get clout. And that actually helped propel him. And he started to get sponsors. He was monetized. I think they estimated he was making like, $50,000 a month on YouTube. With the ad revenue and all that, he was doing really well. And then he got a little too beside himself and he simulated a rape scene to another YouTuber. And he simulated what he was going to do to this female YouTuber with choking and gyrations. And he was like simulating rough attack sexually against this woman. And he lost all his platforms. Now, what was interesting is that YouTube actually just suspended him and told him not to post anything, and for a week. And he didn't listen, and he posted something on a different page with a different name, and he went live or something like that on a separate account, and he lost everything. So I see him a lot now on Fresh and Fit, and he's good, but he's truly a young go-getter who fell from grace very quickly. Andrew Tate has also fallen from grace, so to speak, but what we didn't know was that most of this was planned out. Andrew Tate was paying new people because what it was is that TikTok has a way of, if you open up a TikTok account and you come up with a video, they will push your video quickly, because they know that the dopamine that you got from getting 5,000, 10,000 likes or whatever the like version of TikTok is, will make you do more. So not like YouTube. YouTube, you have to start off, you have to get a channel, you have to get the people to watch you. They will subscribe, and not only will they subscribe, they will they will buy into you. Whereas TikTok is not like that. TikTok is just quick. These are the successful ones. These are not, and they have a way, their algorithm pushes videos forward. So Andrew Tate paid people to open up an account, and his videos would be the first videos they pushed. So he got really big from that because he understood algorithms. He understood things like that. Also, Andrew Tate understood he understood YouTube and how to make it in this space. So he created a school, and he was charging people to join the school. And in this school, you have different tasks. So if we join the school, we will be given a task, and that task will help us link up to someone else that's in the school. And then someone else in that school will then kind of grade us to some degree. And now what you're doing is you're getting a bunch of guys together that are working towards some sort of like network of men where no man is an island, like me, Lone Wolf, Doc for the most part, Lone Wolf. We're the kind of people that gathered our success through our lives without having a whole team with us. We've hunkered down and we put in the work. Whereas Andrew Tate is like, you're never going to get out of the matrix unless you can make X amount of dollars. The only way out of this is through success with money. And he pushed that, and he got really big and famous. And in 9 months, he became the biggest YouTuber, whatever it was, influencer, like you said, of our time. And being that Kevin Samuels just died, I was saying how this guy was up next, and that's when they canceled him, which hasn't stopped him. By the way, he's worth $300 million, arguably. The guy is rich because he got rich off of cam girls. You know, the girls that are like, you know.
Yeah, what do you mean he got rich off cam girls?
Well, the cam girls, there was a time before it is now where you have all these independent girls just like, you know, inserting things inside of them and getting money. He would actually have a whole team that would conversate with the men that was giving you the money. So they were developing all these relationships with all these men. And he had a whole team of people that was texting, writing, and conversing with these men, because the girls, they couldn't do that. They could show up to, you know, do silly stuff on camera, but could they grab hold of the man and keep him engaged? And he knew how to do that. So he did that for quite a few years. He moved to Poland. And while in Poland, he opened up a club. The club got really huge. He got really successful. His brother and him. By the way, these are black men we're talking about. Andrew Tate is a black man. Did you know that?
I thought he was some kind of, you know, black adjacent.
What's that mean? Adjacent.
Like, I thought maybe he was like he was a quarter black, and then he was like Dutch, and because when you have it's the, I forgot the thing that MoFax referenced, where if you're just a little bit back, you're black. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's more than just a little bit. He's half.
He's half black? Okay.
He's half black. His father was a light-skinned black man, a chess player. It was a...
Oh, wait. If his father was a light-skinned black man, was his mother a full black woman?
No, she was a white woman.
Then he's a quarter black, just like I thought.
Well, he was light-skinned. His father was full black.
His father was a light-skinned black man. That would insinuate that his father's half black.
No.
I'm not judging... I'm not going to judge a black. He's a black man. Continue.
Right. He's a black man who always says that he's black. I always like the fact that he actually uses this reference. He always says, I'm black.
Yeah, it does, but then again, it does pay to be black nowadays.
Yes, it
as
does.
opposed to before.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So we have a guy who's successfully taken over the world and has been sat down, but in the middle of it being sat down, he's still stepping up. And he was supposed to do a live where in one of his places that he lives. Not only does he live in Poland, he also lives in Dubai. And in Dubai, you have to have your passport has to be within a year of expiring. Anything under a year, you can't go to Dubai. So Just Pearl, who it's a little confusing because I think the show Just was one person and Pearl was the other person. Just was the black girl, Pearl was the white girl. And they have Just Pearly things. So people think Just Pearl is the white girl, but it's really not true. Just is two different people. So we just keep saying Just Pearl, Just Pearly things. We look at her as this thing, and she's a professional volleyball player. She's over 6 feet tall. She's on the road to losing a bunch of weight. She lost at least 20-30 pounds in the last like 5-6 months. She's wearing makeup. She normally doesn't wear anything but like lip gloss. She has a little issue with this left eye of hers, but other than that, she's a strong 5 in a scale of 1 to 10. You know, what was that face? Tell me the face.
That she was. I mean, I think we were gauging her looks. This is an older woman, isn't she?
No. Just Pearl's a young Caucasian woman whose father was a one percenter who put a bunch of babies in her mother. He worked 80 hours a week. She never got to see her father.
Okay.
And now that he's retired, he's having a better life, but he's basically, he raised a young woman to not be a feminist. So she's been even accused of being a misogynist. they've accused Just Pearl of being a misogynist.
Of course they have.
Yeah, they're accusing what's her name, Milagro Grams from Mob Radio for all the work she did on the Tory Lanez thing. They're referring to her as a misogynist.
You know, that's that. If you have an opinion that's outside of the I guess the norm, you're either racist, a misogynist, a
Right.
sexist, you're something different. But keep going.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna play the podcast. We're not gonna go to the clips, and we're not gonna play the whole podcast, but we're gonna start from the beginning, okay? And let's see what happens.
Ready?
Anybody in the room, because this ain't no zoo. You understand? So if you got something to say, just say it. Me? I'm just saying, we're just all big people here. So if I want to say it, don't beat around the... But no, for real.
Yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always am.
I'm a woman. I'm here
I'm
to
backing up this,
see
by the way.
Mr.
All right.
Sir, they brought me here to look for
Renner, I am 30 years.
You're gonna back up to
or
the
simply click
introductions?
the link in the
Sorry,
description
go to the
box below.
introductions, might
I
as
know
well.
by myself and hundreds of thousands of users trust Virtual Shield 1 every day. Remember, supporting my sponsor helps support the channel.
Hey,
Thank you guys.
we are
again.
willing to support
Okay,
Virtual
so,
One too.
Why don't we go around and have everyone
This
on the
is
panel
just Pearl.
introduce yourself. So your name, your age, your relationship status, where are you from, and just a little bit about you. Why don't we start here?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Brittany Renner. I'm 30 years old. I'm single as a Pringle. I have a 1.5-year-old son, and I'm here to learn something new today.
I'll help you with that. That's why they brought me.
That's why they brought me.
Well, sir, they brought me here to look for trouble. It's the now the troublemaker. You thought she couldn't do it, but she did it. Here she is. I am freshly 30. I am single, not ready to mingle yet. And something interesting about me, well, I'm a smart woman. I'm here to
Who
see
says they're
if
smart?
they can learn something from me.
Oh.
What?
They can learn something
Relax,
from her.
please. Be nice. Come on, I wasn't rude.
Andrew Tate, 36 years old. I cannot disclose personal information because, of course, my enemies are after me. But yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always am. Perhaps somebody will say something remotely insightful, but at least I get a clementine if not. So I'm chilling with my orange.
And it's your girl Esther, the Nigerian queen. I'm here to entertain.
Auntie, she was
Oh,
looking at
really?
you.
Really? I am looking at somebody.
It's okay.
But no, for real though, I'm just here to have a good time. Just, yeah, get some vibes. And in terms of my relationship status, I am single, doing interviews. I'm not just going for anybody. Yeah, that's how it is.
If you sat better, you would definitely get someone.
54. I'm here to cut out the bullshit. Simple.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you guys.
Bet you do.
Yeah, you have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
I'm direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Why are you being mean already?
I don't really care. If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it.
So
If
basically,
I've got
I'm
something to
saying-
say,
I already got my
just say it. Just say it.
Hey, Auntie, I beg, give the girl a chance to speak now and relax.
What girl? What have I said?
This one.
What have I said?
I'm addressing the other
What
one in
have
the
I
room,
said?
innit?
Listen, I don't believe in no elephants in the room. If there's something to say,
They haven't
just
topic
say
yet.
it. Don't beat around the bush. If you got something to say to me, I am here. Talk to my face. There should be no elephant in the room because this ain't no zoo. You understand? So if you got something to say, just say it. No, I'm just saying, we're just all big people here. So if I want to say something to you, I'm going to say something to you straight like I normally do. If I've got something to say to Esther, I'm going to tell Esther. Whether she likes it or not, I don't really
Fair
care.
use.
Andrew Tate, my son's older than him,
Fair
so I don't give a
use.
damn who he is. I'm going to just say what I've got to say. So whoever don't like it, that's tough. Don't come. You
You
should be
missed out
here.
Brittany. I feel picked on.
Okay, so
And Brittany too, right? Even Pearl too. Feel better now.
yeah, Auntie gave me Auntie was yelling at me in wife school the other day. So she doesn't give a shit. Okay, so my
It's
first
supposed to be like
question is what is the number one
belligerent
problem
older black
facing
woman.
men
She's not
today,
normally
and
like
what is
that.
the number
And
one
why
problem
She got
facing women
triggered by the
today?
young lady in the middle
Say something.
of Andrew Tate for some reason. We don't know. They probably there 30, 40 minutes before the show
The number
started.
one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
Simple.
That's a good paradigm to start from because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
lie. It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lied.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. Because, no, it is, because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves. And a woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And is funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never gonna have. And it's becoming harder and harder, and you end up with people, top G's, who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing, and there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
Should I say the problem
I
with
would
women?
say,
I'll take it.
well, everybody's got a chance to talk.
I'm gonna shut up and have my clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well, I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Women are not accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why just women, though? It's both. It's definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable, but society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, etc., is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing.
Don't forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
They
saying-
can look sexy at a size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
You guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna. I don't agree with what you just said, because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible.
That speaks to their vanity, not that it
They
speaks
think that
societally.
because
It
they're a
speaks to
man,
the
you're gonna
vanity
be
of
attracted to them.
women.
No. Like you can't be fat.
Wait.
stay
Can you pause
at
that,
home,
pause that?
You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not gonna want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with it.
So they said 90% of women have cosmetic surgery or do cosmetic surgery. 90.
Whoa.
Now,
Not 90% of
Doc
women-
would know the number.
No, not 90% of cosmetic surgery. 90% of them are women.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Done for women.
90% of the cosmetic surgery,
Yeah,
not
but-
90% of women.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm sorry. I apologize, but that's what I meant to say. But 90% of even alteration, and even on a benign level, like alteration as far as makeup, blush. I would almost say that I don't have that number, and this is a presumption, but I would say that's even greater than 90%.
Of course.
So that more so pertains to it's not whatever she's saying is not indicative of society making.
Are you telling
women
me you don't
change
have any
themselves.
blush on?
I don't have any blush on.
No
So,
lipstick?
I have lotion on my face. That's all I
Doc,
have.
no eyeliner for you, Doc? No eyeliner for us? We're out here fresh face
Right.
in a public forum?
We're brave as hell. We're braver than all of them.
What? Wow.
No makeup.
You telling me I couldn't put something here to fix this little line? No?
But we should be the no makeup podcast. I think we get more love. No makeup, cream and black.
Whoa. Don't change the name now.
No
I
makeup.
agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing. Women are happy to change how their appearance and change how they look, but they're not
Fair
happy to
use.
change how they act. Most of them, they're not
Yes,
happy
they
to change how
are.
they're not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And
No, they don't.
The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and
I
everything.
like
That's
this
what the men
woman.
want.
Who
But the
is
women
this?
are doing
Who's
their
this
own.
firecracker?
Auntie is no joke.
Who is this?
She's
I like
no
her.
joke. She is so
like
good.
so firecracker.
She has her own channel but all they're just the clips from this. She is no joke.
I'm not impressed.
Well, let's give her a minute.
I like it. You know, what I'm saying, why I jump out and say I'm not impressed is because lately been having a drove of a lot of auntie-like women who want to give these points
Right.
like the guys like,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
No,
right,
but she's an
right.
actual auntie. I think you see
I mean,
young women.
a lot of them are
young women
actualizing-
trying to act like they had life
But I'm
insurance.
saying, where
It's
were
a
these
grown
women?
woman.
Right,
Where were
right,
all these
She's a
women?
grown
right.
woman.
Yeah.
I like. I gotta respect.
Where
that.
was
She's-
these women 5-10 years ago?
Where was they last week?
Exactly. All of a sudden, you know, we have a lot of auntie likes right now. So that's
But
what
let
I'm
me
saying
just
I'm
say
not-
this about those
But
auntie
I
likes.
don't mind her. I'm just saying, you know.
You ain't jumping out the window for her right now.
like, yeah,
yeah.
you
She,
know.
yeah. I've been.
She matches. She makes sense though. Her words match her energy. It doesn't seem like she's playing a character.
Exactly.
That's why-
That's what most of these women are doing on the TikTok and the YouTube. They're telling other women how to get men, but they all got neck tattoos, ridiculous looking nose rings, and hello, you should be telling these girls, don't get a neck tattoo. Don't get these nose rings.
Gentlemen, the big difference between all of that is there's a lot of acting going on. And the longer you've been around, the better you are at it. So,
All right, yeah.
But, you know,
I'm with that. I'm with you.
but, you know.
No,
I'm
no.
gonna change this, I'm gonna change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man almost, if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make that, he'll go and hit the gym. What's someone gonna do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves. You can't turn around. What man wants a woman that's gonna turn around, go and have an operation, they can't sit on a plane because her ass has been injected or
I
been
can just please
interfered
give me more
with. She'll
quick
lie there
pause.
on her stomach.
I'm gonna say that the reason why I actually give credence to what she's saying and credence to her energy making sense and her matching her dialect and what she's saying. My mother talks when my mother criticizes like people. My mother hasn't even been with a man in years. But what I'm saying is,
You think?
Exactly.
So you think? Stop it.
all right,
How many children your mother has?
2.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
And you're the last one.
You think that's contrived? Trust me, if you knew my mother, you'd believe me. Now listen, the point I'm making is the same way this woman talks about like younger women and how she's judgmental about women. My mother talks in that same kind of energy and dialect, and that's from years of being a little jaded from men. But it comes from years of being experience. It's not what she's saying, and she doesn't watch YouTube. She has no one to reflect on. You know what I'm saying? Anything she's saying comes from her experiences. So when I'm hearing what she says, she sounds about how my mother is critical and judgmental about women, and she's not a YouTube fan. So this is why I believe Miss Jules.
Auntie. So I can't remember at the moment, but yeah.
But
let's just call
that's
her
why I
auntie.
believe. I don't think she's full of it. I think she.
So this is your first time hearing her, and already you kind of like where she's coming from.
I just don't. It's not that like I just believe her. I don't. Like,
You don't
the
think it's
video
an
we
act?
watched before, Amber Rose. Amber Rose. I don't believe her. Amber Rose.
Okay, let's not.
Are you an ageist?
I believe her. I believe. It's
Before you gotta hit the house.
Fair
She's
use.
got- I'm
Fair
I worry about
use.
some of the men because they must go out with a woman, and then when they wake up in the morning, they think, "Who the hell is she?"
The scars,
By the time you take
catfish.
everything off, women need to change their attitude before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women are out there and they want to change this, they want to change that. All the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand, learn to please a man.
That is so
That's what you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
She's like, girl.
That's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off when you guys picked up from the airport, when we were talking about, what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as well.
No, but what I'm saying is that Pearl, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
No. We literally just talked about this yesterday.
Wow.
Wait, can I hear that thing exactly again? Because I lost her. Don't pause it. I did need to actually hear what she said because I was confused.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
No. But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a
Wait,
straight
okay,
interview,
pause.
and I asked the guys,
That
would you
was-
rather
hold
have a
on.
girl
Hold
that
on.
gave good head or a good cook? And most guys.
They want this.
But I think that's
For
more.
the
I
quick
think, but I think
satisfaction.
that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm trying to say is that
Right.
if you, all the women out there, and they're talking about, well,
It's interesting that Brittany
course.
Renner is the chick who's saying that a man would prefer good head over a woman who can cook. Because Pearl was doing her street interviews. And in the street interviews, she just cleared it up. She says, well, that was more for like if they were going to have a sexual experience. Because let me tell you something. There's nothing like having a woman who is horrible at giving head. And as time goes by, she's a freaking award-winning head giver. I don't have a problem with spending that kind of time with a woman that she develops the skills to put it down. Where you're like, it was okay, and then you tell them like, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Let's do this, do it like this, do it like that. Oh yeah, that's what I like. And take it to the next level and watch that growth. Me as a man, I enjoy that. Let me also say this. I would prefer a woman who was eager at learning to give head and could cook me a damn thing or cook me a meal more so than I would a woman who gives me great head and I gotta order some damn food.
1,000,000,000% I agree with you.
I think
1,000,000%.
I think all men kind of like really agree with that, and it's this idea of bringing the person along that you are actually with to do things the way that you like it. So you're not looking for a superhead porn star because immediately what comes after that is like where did she gain all this thing from? So a woman would like a guy who had experience and is kind of like well learned in certain areas sexually. A guy really don't care for that from his woman. He doesn't mind if you have to kind of like bring her along and teach her and those type of things.
Yeah.
So they're not looking. I mean, most men who are stable are not looking for like I'll say the word like Brittany Renner of the world's. And I say Brittany Renner, the idea that this is a person who's sexually experienced and is out there and is.
Because imagine once you get a few
The other side.
experiences. Yeah.
You gotta rent. You're perfect.
Once you get a few experiences, the novelty of great sex. Imagine a woman that could just blow your mind, knew how to ride like a champ.
Yeah.
What the novelty is going after maybe a few sexual experiences. The novelty from being able to cook and prepare a meal that never gets old.
Never.
It never gets
Never
old.
gets
Never
old.
gets old.
I got a text. Did I not get a text message before we got
The
here?
pot roast. About the pot roast.
Wifey was like, yo, I got the pot roast in the oven at 5 o'clock. This is the text message I got. Would I have liked the text message that said, I can't wait for you to get home so I can drain you, service you, worship the shaft like it's some sort of like, God, and I'm on my knees just praying to and service? Yeah, I would love that text message too. But let me tell you, that pot roast text was pretty damn good.
I like the little sexy text messages.
No, you're not into
I
that?
don't like them sexy messages. Just show me, but the cooking stuff, I
You
would
said
have been
show
excited.
me. Don't text me. Show me.
But the cooking, I'd be excited. Oh, like I made you your. Guess what? I made you your favorite food. I made you chicken pot pie. made some peanut butter soup. That would make me like that would make me next level. If you told me
Wait. You're a chicken pot pie and a peanut butter stew kind of guy?
All right, they don't know this about me. I'm sorry. I talk to them because they know me.
Yeah. All right, so even though peanut butter stew is popping.
It is. Don't
Some
laugh
of the
at
women
me.
want to be
don't
settled
be wrong.
down. They want a man, right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can suck it just as good as any old tramp on the street. And keep your man and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't
He's
say
only
you have
32.
to.
32 years in a relationship with the same man.
Attraction is not
Good
important.
woman.
It is
Initially, for you to get initially, exactly. A man is not going to find you attractive and then think, oh, because you can cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's going to
Especially a man
find you
that's got money.
attractive and he's
Okay,
going to...
let's ask Andrew.
Andre, would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she
Can we
can
pause one more
cook?
time real quick, 2 seconds?
That's what I said.
Cooking has nothing to do with being a chef and showing that you're like I don't need to be served gourmet food. The point is that you show you care about me in order that you're making something that I like and brings me board, gives me sustenance. There's something sweet about that. It has nothing to do with it being gourmet. It's how you're taking the time out to make it, to season it so I like how it tastes. So I'm full that you don't know how big of a sweet thing that is. That's actually that's real. That's love to me more so than just fucking draining me. Because you're gonna want to be fucked after. I'm sorry, wanting to have sex after. You're not just blowing me for me. You're blowing me for you.
So you know what? Along the lines of what Ulrich is talking about, women in different areas of the world actually got offended. Currently now, in many areas of the Caribbean, in Haiti, and older women get offended if you want to go out and eat. They get offended if you get, because it was such a thing that they cherish, that they're going to feed their family and nurture their family in such a way. So it's not about a chef because you got money you could buy. It's about this person understanding the value and the power she had by making stuff with her own hands to feed her family.
Hearing that shit actually blew my mind. Like I was actually touched by the feeling of Haitian. Holy shit, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, because I actually was looking at a YouTube show, and there was a guy who was he was touring the Dominican Republic, and the young lady who was his guide, he was like, "Come on, let's go get something to eat." Like he wanted to film some food, like street food, and she was like, "Come on, we dinner is in a few, like dinner is now at my house." Right. So she brought him over to her home. Mm-hmm. He was a little nervous, but she brought him over to her home. Her family was there. They eat dinner at a certain time, and it was just so amazing to view that. I was like, wow. So it's along your lines where women are like, whoa, you're gonna spend money? Whoa, it's 6 o'clock. Yeah. This popping right here in my house.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man.
And that's when you gotta self a woman. That's what happened.
See, that's not what she said, to be fair. And the second, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook, because I'm top G. But to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive me faster, because of status. That's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. That's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong, because of status. Everything we do is about status. That's why we want the better job, so I want more money, so I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good. That's what men want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked at somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember when you come over to my house? What does LJ do when you come over to the house?
Oh, do you want something?
Yeah, how many meals does she whip up? LJ will whip up some meals. Will put out the fruit. This is what she does. You come over to the house, Ulrich, she's gonna go find some fruit, cut it up, boom, she's gonna put a table. Look, I showed up with fruit today. Just because this is the way we do things. You come to my home, you're gonna get a meal. You're gonna get. I mean, we're talking about even if there's no meal being done. Remember when we had the tuna fish sandwiches that day with the bread and the melted cheese? That means you have to put on the oven. After she did tuna melts, like on a whim. Tuna melts on a whim.
Like a magician.
It was amazing.
It was good.
Wait, I mean, no, let's be serious about this.
You had the Got 3000.
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western
Fair
world has
use.
collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, "I'll be the best sex you ever had," I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say
I don't want to
something?
hear that shit. What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about sucking dick can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly, and that's the truth. So what
That's
she's
a fact.
saying is completely
That's a
correct.
fact.
These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Ulrich, not for nothing, you kind of look like.
That is true.
Yo, you got the same shape.
So
not
basically,
even
it's
Same
a
said.
Let me get my sunglasses. I
Not
think
even
I
a
think
little
so.
bit.
No, it's a little strange. But yo, it's nothing wrong with looking like a guy with 350 mil.
I look like that.
Who drives a
and
Bugatti?
women have
He
is the
doesn't. He hasn't pissed
consequences
me
of
off.
the bad decisions
yet, but
that the
I look like
1%
him.
of
He looks
powerful
like
men make on
something
our
else.
behalf. Because our problems are on a societal level, less than between
Let's hear
women
what she has
and
to
men.
say.
Of the bad decisions that the one thing that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker of between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level, less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
It's
is
always been that way.
yeah, and, but
yeah, she
then
got some
think
point.
about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try and make it about men and women, is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the
You
narrative.
don't want to make it
I
about
like
men
that
and women.
woman too.
They both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious, he came back with honor, he got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And
Ulrich is ADOS, Christopher Perkins.
What did he say?
one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your
He is
capacity now
ADOS.
in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into
That's a
Jimmy
good
Choo,
point.
they open
That's
the
a-
door,
that's
no
a good
brookies
point.
allowed in, Tate's here, and I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So
That's the point
you're
that girls
talking
are
about
making,
high
though.
status males. That it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I actually, I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard out.
Balance.
It's
I
hard.
love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people always go for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9 to 5 person that's going to look after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody really rushing? I've got a man. We don't go on social media. Everyone for don't want no night about
I don't think
social media.
that's true.
9 to 5. I've got our own property.
Women
32
necessarily
years.
go for
Happy as Larry.
1%ers.
What
I
is
don't
the
think
problem?
that's necessarily true.
You don't think women want the 1%?
Not necessarily.
Well, they want the 14%. That's the 6 foot tall. The women will dump a guy 5'11" for a 6 foot in search of a 6 foot tall man. That's only 14% of the population is 6 foot tall.
Really? You
And
think
that's
so?
I know so. This is 100%
I don't know
fact.
about that.
That's true.
It's a fact. That's 14% of the men are 6 feet tall.
No, not that 14 of the men are 6 feet tall. That women would inevitably dump some man who's 5'11" in order to gain a 6 foot tall.
Well, it
man.
depends on the connection.
That's what I don't know about that.
Well, on paper, yes, they would. On paper, they would.
Because I feel like women are more intimidated than women are less confident to take a step. In other words, to compromise where they are with this 5'11" person to take that leap in order to a 6 foot man. Because it's still a risk that this person of this 1% is going to want you. And I think that provides a bigger deterrent than we think. Because women are less powerful than we're giving them credit to. Where women do not determine the market. Women do not determine the attraction pool. Women,
They do not do that. They do not do that. But they do make themselves available to the men that they feel like they can get. So now when you're talking about this 1%, she talked about, why you have to get a 1%. But whoever she got, that's where her 1%.
But the 1% market is going to
so the
determine
thing about
that.
it
The
is-
1% market is going to say to that woman, "You're not. Listen, I'm 1%. You're not perfect enough. You're not svelte enough for me. So
Right.
therefore, she's going to adjust to that, and she's going to be like, all right,
think-
these 1% men are too judgmental.
I think
They're going to
the
reconcile
1%
that in their
Oh, Rick,
mind."
you're giving women a lot of credit.
we have
You're giving the women a lot of credit. These women got 300 men in their inboxes, and they looking for the 6 foot tall guy making $100,000, and they are crying themselves to sleep every night. Jumping. There used to be a saying back in the days: "Don't jump over dimes. You're jumping over dimes to catch dollars, or you're jumping over dollars to catch dimes." How did it go? I can't remember now. But it was a saying that it was like you're forgetting that you're jumping. Oh, you collect what you got down here. Stop. Anyway, go ahead.
Let me see what's
the 1% is like contrived. We have this idea of what we all say objectively, these are the 1%, whatever criteria used to make those 1%.
Right.
But all the women that we talk about, when they get with somebody, most often than not, that is their 1%. That is where they're are best at, or this is where they felt like they could reach to.
I think women settle more than you give them credit. Women don't necessarily not, because I feel like you're talking about women like they don't settle and men just settle.
Well, see, I don't know,
women
what do you call
settle more
settle?
than we think.
So here are the things.
In other words, women have an ideal. I believe. I do believe women have ideals, like you're saying that they were tricked into saying women. They believe they need to pick the best person. Don't settle. That's society. That's cultural. That's cultural.
I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
Everybody had an ex-girlfriend in the past.
Yeah.
At the time your ex-girlfriend came upon you, you were the best man that she's been.
No, she was in a better position than I was. The ex when I met my ex fiance, she had already had a master's
Did you
degree
hear what I'm
from an
talking about?
Ivy League
I don't think you even
school,
heard
and
what I
I only
said.
got a bachelor's degree from
Hold up.
SUNY. Go
Did
ahead.
you hear what I just said?
Hold on.
Your girlfriend, when she met you, okay, you were the next best guy that she came across. Most women, when they break up with somebody, the next person they date, they don't date downwards.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Okay,
In that sense.
so
I see where you're coming from.
at the point at which a person settles down, they settle down at their highest level. That's the next person that
Right.
they could have gotten or whatever.
Yeah, but that,
So-
that highest level is only relative to their experience.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean. So you're just assuming that every woman is going to find some person who's at a better level is pursuing of them. But that's not
That
the
is their
case. no.
nature.
But that's not the. Women already settle in before that point. Women don't have I don't believe that women have a guy who's kind of on the cusp of their ideals and then just waits around before they settle down.
I didn't know you were this optimistic.
This
That's
is
pretty
where-
cool. That's pretty cool that he's this optimistic. You're 31 years old and this optimistic.
Well,
Very-
I'm
32.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
It's not
that.
optimism. No, it's not optimism. It's
Stay
not
there,
optimism.
stay there, keep that optimism. No, you should keep that
I think that's
optimism.
kind of
It's not
cool.
optimistic. It's not optimistic. I think you're overestimating. You're speaking from a point is I'm looking at the best women. What I'm saying is I'm looking at the women from the perspective of I don't think they're as ambitious as you believe them to be. It's not that I'm optimistic. The women are not as ambitious.
You're
as
saying
you
that a
think.
chick will get more comfortable than you think.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
point.
yeah. I understand. I
That's my
understand.
point.
I actually think it's the other way around. I think now with all the stuff that's going on now is that the women that would naturally, find themselves in a particular place. When you said that, it's arbitrary, that's the whole thing. That's the market setting itself. Because the next best guy, he may be nothing that she had in mind, but that's the best guy that she's been able to get.
Exactly to her, but
So that's
but
the market
She
setting.
quantifies that differently. Like this guy maybe makes less money than the other guy, but this guy treats me better, and she will quantify that in her mind as the best guy.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't necessarily have the guy at the highest status and quantify as the best guy. I don't think women are that forward seeking as you believe
This
them to
is
be.
where it changes. This is where action changes the words that come out of women's mouth. So the thing is, if what you could marry is that's where you're at. You could talk about all the 6-figure, 7-figure guy that I want to be, and he's 6'5" and gotta do all these different things, but you can't get him. So what you could do is this person you married or this person that you're dating. That's where you're
No.
at, and that's where the market
No,
sells
they
itself.
need to keep telling. What they're telling incels is they're gonna stay.
Whoa,
what they're
whoa,
tell-
whoa,
listen,
whoa! Why are
listen.
we throwing incels
No.
around?
I think it's irrelevant. The only reason I'm saying because I don't take incels as derogatory. Men who are not getting ass or not getting women, right? And I
Incel
think-
is an involuntarily celibate person.
yeah, who are not getting it. That's who are not getting women.
Let's just put a let's put a
right.
put a
But
pin.
no,
let's
I
put a
have-
pin on that.
All right, I had a good
Hold-
point to that. All right,
Hold on to your thought.
All right.
Okay, let's take a breath. Go.
All right. I should continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted you to take a moment. Take a
Gotcha.
breath.
I sounded too excited. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you, host. Thank you, host. All right. So the point I'm making is that when I reference incels or people who are the involuntary celibate, I don't just think of it as people who are not who are just not having sex ever. I think it's just people who are just commonly not dating, commonly not getting in situations enough where they build up resentment or they build up any kind of why am I not getting women? Why am I not getting girls? And when I'm talking about that population, I'm talking about the population that the incel population. That's a population that are being looked at, or I think that's the population that are being left behind by who Andrew Tate is talking about. Women are looking for people outside of that population, and
Okay. Okay. I get it.
yeah. So, but the whole point I'm making is I think what's happening is there's a societal doctrine commonly that those guys are just left behind or left in the dust. Guys who are not commonly getting girls, or guys who are not. It's not as easy for them to get girls. They just won't get girls, and they'll be left alone. I think what's happening is society is pushing men to think that they're not, women resent them, or women are not going to choose them. Therefore,
Society is doing
so
this.
I'm saying quote unquote, because the narrative that's being pushed forward here, I don't believe Andrew Tate's like narrative like you all do. I don't think.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Speak for yourself. Don't speak for me. I can tell you how I feel about Andrew.
What I'm saying is, I think his narrative is that the reason why women are moving away from men is that women are getting too pig-headed or big-headed, or women are like having these higher unrealistic expectations for men, and that's leaving a gap. The same way you talk about there's no middle ground, there's a gap where there's only that high level, or the 10%ers, the 1% men who are getting the girls, and at that bottom level everyone's left behind. I think that narrative is completely false. Women settle more than that you lead on when you see these talk shows, where you see these like Hot 97 shows.
Let me just say this.
Women do settle.
I'm not saying that women don't settle.
But
listen. Hold on. I let you speak a long time. Hold up.
Sorry, man. Thank you.
Women are not settling the way you think, because you're an attractive man. You got the bald-headed, 5'11", 200-pound, does your push-ups. You make over 50K.
I'm not using me 60K,
as an example. Whatever it is. All I'm saying
is
your life experiences are leading you with this optimism.
That's not true. I'm not using I used to never get women. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 20 years old. I used to never get women. I should have came up with them jaded. I used to be a chubby little kid.
You changed that.
But my point is,
you changed that.
I'm not talking about my experience of getting women and saying that. Okay,
all our experiences lead us to say the things we say.
No, but people.
You can't speak for anyone else other than yourself.
I hang out with weird friends. I have some weird ass friends.
I know.
Friends that you would never think they would get any girls, and they are the most bitch ass beta guys in some circumstances. However, they find a way to find some women. They find a way, and I think.
How's that working out for them? They got marriages out of this?
Oh no. But we're talking about younger guys, though. They're still pretty young. They're not necessarily older guys. At youngest they're 29. At oldest they're my age, 32. So it's not. They're
single.
Yeah, but it's not.
They're not married.
Yeah, but I don't think that's I don't find that to be necessarily a criticism, because I think how society.
But let me just finish my point that I was trying to make.
People getting married at an older age.
Let me just try to make my point.
Go ahead.
You young man, respectfully, you keep doing your push-ups every day. If you was that fat kid, you wouldn't get any swipes on Tinder. No one would reach out to you. And if you weren't as outgoing as you are when you go out to parties and bars, women wouldn't call you because you give out your number. I remember you called me and we were talking about, he's like, yo, somebody I gave my number to, don't even remember who it was. They was like, yo, come through. And you came through. And things were like, great. You had a good time. Most men are not living that. Most men are at home alone. And they're stressed and they're sad. They're not doing their push-ups. A lot of them need to start doing their push-ups. A lot of them need to learn how to wash their ass properly. And a lot of them they need to learn how to pull the skin back and clean all that around the edge. A lot of men don't know about this.
All right.
Let me finish.
Okay.
What I'm trying to tell you is that when I say optimism and that you're showing optimism to these women that are willing to settle, and you are speaking not of yourself as from what you see, let me just say this to you. There's a bigger picture beyond our realities and our bubbles and what we see and what we feel. Yeah. What we see and what we feel is limited. There are millions of men that are involuntarily celibate who are never going to get the swipe. They're never going to get the girl that's going to call them, ever. And they're making, a lot of these men are making 40, 50, 60, 70,000.
But first, all right. When
So
you
it's
were
not
my
a-
age, when you were my age, you were probably getting a lot more women than me. Is my point. But you still are cynical. Still have a cynical, more optimistic view. It has nothing to do with attractiveness, not attractiveness.
But those
anything
women
like
were
that.
sluts.
What I'm
Those
saying-
women were I was in the bar
You
business.
don't think you don't think I deal with? Come on, man. Anyway, listen.
Yeah, I
any
didn't
woman that's not
get it.
my-
I didn't
any
get a
woman that's
good
not-
woman.
Any woman that's not my girlfriend is a slut. Trust me. All right, so that's not it has nothing to do with that. What I'm saying, it had nothing to do with attractive. I have guys who are one of the people we both know is a good looking guy, but he always had a problem getting women. What I'm saying.
All right. Let's get back to the show.
Continue.
We're kind of like we're going left a little bit, and we're kind of saying the same thing. I don't want you to feel personally attacked in any way, but I do want us to speak for ourselves. We don't want to sit here and talk about other men and what they're going through. We got to speak for ourselves. And yes, I did get a lot of women, but I was also in the bar business. I was also in a managerial position. Before that, I was the bartender. Okay, so these jobs led me to have women that saw me in a powerful position. So that power, me being, I'm over 6 foot tall. I was pretty much in good shape for many, many, many years. And women felt that I was like going to be able to protect them. I always had a pocket full of money, could protect a woman, but all those women were just, there was no wife material in any of those women.
I agree with that. That's some of the.
You know?
I don't have low numbers necessarily with women. I was just comparing myself because you were also in that business and you were doing from the stories you told me were a little crazy, even crazier than my stories. But what I'm saying is,
Right.
it's not that I had a low number of women. I just what I'm saying is my perspective on women is not based on my success or failure.
Right.
It doesn't come from me. I don't come from women and come to get women and come to the conclusion. Yeah, it's easy to get women, or I wouldn't come to the conclusion. Oh, I don't get women. Therefore, I can't. Women are. It's dopey to come to either conclusion based on your experience. Well, what I'm saying is based on experiences outside of me. I see men all kinds of different levels. Financially, aesthetically, different. Finding women who loves them, who will stay with them, and sometimes they're women below their league, sometimes they're women in their league, sometimes they're women above their league. But that has nothing to do with
I have to say this. Let's slow down. This is coming from a guy who's just out of a 6-year relationship. You're in for a whirlwind, my friend.
I should be jaded.
You're in for you're in for a whirlwind, my friend.
What do you guys think? Put it in the comment. What do you guys think?
Yeah. This guy is he's gonna. This dating pool is. Woo.
It's gonna be interesting. Gonna be a lot of stories to come.
I'm gonna continue, Ulrich.
Why's it been really rushing? I got a man, we don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pod, I want nothing about social media. 9 to 5, I've got around property, 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not old fashioned, it works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that
What
it
I'm trying to
does.
say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the
and then the
difference is-
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
I wanna know
as he said,
I want to know what
thank you.
she's after.
I'll
She
have this
would've
one
got
after
Tate
this
back.
She's
point.
after.
Yeah.
And trying and that's like
It is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So
This is what
as
happens
very
when you
rightly
let
said,
Ulrich
society
keep
is
drinking
not
on
about
camera.
men to walk. Now men don't go to walk.
That's what
So
somebody
there's a
said in
whole
the
sense
chat.
of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side is that the same way that as society evolved and made men feel less purpose, they have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to
No,
do
I'm good.
before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of, you know.
What's the other rubbish? That ain't what I'm saying.
Look,
You get a 9 to 5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9 to 5 person, right? You can function underneath that because I'm always saying the women say, "Oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money." Work with what the man's got.
You're right. Right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9 to 5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as I did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not like
That's
out today.
always direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown. And then they'll go try and get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe you cheated. I am devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, "Oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that," men like me don't have to be, and you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting there pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up, day one, it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
You're still texting me.
They're going to be the one that changes you.
Oh, no, yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake that girls make.
Whose fault is this? This is the female decision. They sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept he ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about, and it's like
Who
that's
always
the
talks
one-
about that? The regular women that run in.
The women that come on the show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and
Accountable
say,
for what? Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes.
How
So
can you say that? Are you
You're
joking?
okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's horrible.
No, because
It's a wrap when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There has not been, in the history of humanity, across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female, ever. Ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the...
Nefertiti. She was known for 1,500 men.
Yeah, what's it, Cleopatra?
Cleopatra as
started
well?
a war. Cleopatra started a war because she was having an affair with Julius Caesar, and he had the Romans fight for Egypt on her side.
No, I guess, but the point is, what women got exalted or put on a pedestal because she was a whore or slept with a lot of men.
Not
Mary
Nefertiti?
Mary Magdalene.
That's not the reason
same
she.
thing.
Whatever
Same
reason
thing
she's
as,
known, it's not for that.
Cleopatra was celebrated for being promiscuous and using her sexuality and her beauty to her advantage. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about at this point.
Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting. So yes, we are completely and utterly different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his life and ticks every single box, and if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do that, and I can decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough to attract so many males, because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different. And I'm going to explain to you why it's completely different, so buckle up. It's different. It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why. It is impossible for a female to be promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself. Because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There is no way she is sleeping with endless men, and all of them are either high-value men or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy. She was just too drunk to realize he's a loser who plays video games. Or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just gonna go out there fucking a new dude every week and say, yeah, he's worth pussy. Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da da da. And you know what's funny about the universe? It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, Esther, 1 second. Sir, may I ask you a question? What would you say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
Why? No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say me, I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So
Yes.
let's say you had 4 pregnancies, you know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if...
No, I'm asking. Do
Okay,
you know?
I asked, what if they're different races?
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the 2 people who made it are, at least. If you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just
It's
say...
disgusting.
Wait,
He said it's
The twins that have 2
disgusting.
different dads.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. May I just say something then? So if that is the case, yeah, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you, at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are, then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's a rat, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand, I'm talking about humans. You look at humans from a societal perspective, but society has changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago, if a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive. If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job, she couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, still today, virginity is so coveted, and throughout all of history it's been so coveted, because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin, I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin, prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity, or at least a low body count, or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men and saying, one of you has to take care of me, put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Whereas different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So obviously back then for survival, women needed a man. Otherwise, when they were pregnant, could die and all of these things, they would perish. In today's society, given evolution, given the fact that as women we can go
Still
and get...
need men.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. Isn't there a glitch between what is actually happening and the nature of what we have in our bodies? I think that's probably the conflict that we're having right now.
Glitch in what way?
In the sense that women don't feel like they need men in the most physical sense, perhaps
that's
like
right.
naturally.
It's very interesting. Women don't feel like they need men in a physical sense because life is soft, but it's bullshit. And it's bullshit because you still need men by proxy, 1, and 2. The second life gets difficult, you very quickly learn how much you need men. But women will go, I'm independent. I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans. And if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Of course you do. You just named your whole life is based on fucking men. The road you're driving on was paved by a man. The house you're living in was built by a man. The car you're driving was designed by a man. Your whole life depends on men. And the second anything bad were to happen to you, the second you were physically threatened, or times were to get hard, or war were to start, or famine, or riots, the first thing you do is find a big strong man, shit yourself, and throw the feminism out the window. Feminism goes out the fucking window the second that the snow needs shoveling, or there's a fucking broken down car, or the tire needs changing. Then all that crap vanishes. It's garbage. And this is the very interesting thing. I'll make a point here, which is going to get me canceled. canceled again, but I don't give a fuck. But this is the point. Feminism in and of itself can't be defended. Any idea, the point of an idea is that it can be defended by the people who believe in it. This is what the whole point of war since the dawn of time. It doesn't matter if it was the Christians against the Hindus. It doesn't matter if it was the Germans against the French. There were people who had ideas and ideologies, and they were prepared to fight each other to defend their ideology. Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists. The only people who can defend feminism are the men who subscribe to the garbage. If all the feminists were to get in a line and say, we want feminism, and the conservative men were to get in a line, you will learn very quickly it's bullshit. I had a friend in Afghanistan when Taliban kicked America out. And he told me the Americans were telling the girls they could go to school. So they built all these girls' schools, and they put the Afghanistani Defense Forces there, and they funded the Afghanistan Defense Forces to protect these schools. You had American satellites, you had night vision goggles. Taliban were afraid to attack. America leaves, now you have Afghani Defense Forces. They're basically blind. They don't have satellites anymore, don't have night vision, whatever. So now it's a real war. The men are standing next to this girls' school. The Taliban are coming. You're some dude. You're standing there, and you're looking at this girls' school going, I don't really give a fuck if girls go to school. Bounce. And you didn't fight. So that's why they all gave up and Taliban took over so quickly. And when I said this, the girls like, yeah, they should have fought for us, feminism. Why don't the women fight?
Can I ask?
Oh, wait, the women can't defend their own fucking idea. You need men to defend feminism. So that's why the whole thing is stupid.
So
the second men don't defend it, it just fails as a fucking ideology. It's garbage.
May I tell you something now? So this is the
This
thing.
woman
This
won't
is where we
stop talking.
assume that women perhaps don't have the physical or even mental ability to go to a war. Wait. Because this is the thing. For example, in Ukraine, a lot of women took up arms. And in fact, I'm Angolan. I'm Angolan. I'm Angolan. And
Don't lie.
Listen.
To the people at home.
Wait, no worries. I'll talk about my personal
you want to go to
story.
war? You want to fight?
Wait. Let me tell you something. This is the thing. I think it's also really silly to assume that, for example, a woman, because she didn't go to school, she'll not be as intelligent as a man. Therefore, naturally, a woman is not intelligent. No, it doesn't make sense. If we're now starting to normalize equality and we want to put everybody in the forefront, give a woman a
Who's
gun.
normalising equality?
Well, that's what people are wanting. Then that's the
People
case.
like who?
Let me tell you,
Who wants
Auntie.
to normalise equality? People like who? Feminists. Who else
No,
wants to?
actually, no equality. I want respect. That's really all I
It's
want.
stopping you from getting respect.
No,
I get respect.
I get
What's stopping you from
respect. I get respect.
So, but
That's
you
what I
just
want.
said
That's
you
what I
want
like.
respect.
What I think is,
You don't even know what you want.
I'll tell you what I
You don't know
want.
what you want. You want
As a
equality,
woman, I
you
carry
want
myself
respect.
differently. I actually hold the things
Auntie
I've
don't
done
like
in the
this.
fight side for. I hold it. That's why when you speak to me, I don't move different. I move different to many of the girls. That's why when you talk to me and you argue with me, I
I
don't
don't
take
argue
it.
you.
You do
I tell
sometimes.
you.
And I'll
I don't
tell you
argue.
something. A lot of
Don't
women
argue, I
may
tell
have
you.
the accolades to be somebody, but they are uncomfortable to own that. And the reason why, then I would like to ask you, for example, I do need a man, for example, to procreate. But other than that, I'm quite strong, and I would find a way to protect myself differently. With that mentality, what would be the man that would be for me then?
Denava, what would you do if one of these security guards broke into your door?
What would I do? Okay, I'll tell
What would you do? What would
One,
you do? Seriously, there's no guns
She's
here.
a feminist.
I'll tell you. No, I'm not a
She was
feminist.
shit and say
I'm not a feminist. I'm a bit smarter.
Okay,
Either I play
these
dead.
two guys.
One. Yeah.
Okay, they see
I
you're
played
not dead.
dead.
It's okay.
They
No,
see
I'd be
you
like
breathing.
this, and then if not, maybe I would kind of be very gentle and comply to find a way to get out of
Okay,
it.
so
if
let's
they
make-
want to
let's-
come
All
and
right,
kill
that's-
me,
yeah,
there's not much that many people can do.
I was kind of with her
You're
at
talking about
first when
equality,
she
equally
said
respect.
that.
The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing. We can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with
Equity.
completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man, or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where it all gets fucked up. We try to pretend it's all the
Yes.
same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight and work. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go fucking die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai, chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at
No
other
way.
things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical.
This reminds me of that woman in the gym in Mexico. She was with her daughter, and was it Mexico? But there was a woman in the gym. She's with her daughter in the gym, and a guy just finished doing some squats, and on the rack was 550 pounds. She goes up underneath the 550 pounds, lifts it up off the thing, and it pushes her straight down onto the bench that was there, pops her head like a top right in front of her daughter.
She dies?
Pops her whole entire head off. Decapitated her. In front of her daughter. The woman thought that she could actually squat 550 pounds.
Why did she think this?
Because they're delusional, sir. They're delusional. She's at the gym, and the guy who was lifting the thing, he just stood there like this. He had all the weights set up. He does his squats. It was on the one that comes, you know how it's connected to like a track? So the weight isn't loose, it's on a track. So she lifts it up, you know how it has those little hooks?
Yeah.
She takes it, she lifts it up off the hooks, and then just, pow, pop the head off.
Listen, women aren't delusional. Women aren't delusional at all. Feminism is an attempt feminism was an attempt to create a system where I guess women would where if you're a positive viewer of feminism, you would say that the point of feminism was to make.
So you don't think
powerful.
this woman was delusional trying to lift that weight?
No, she's delusional. Women aren't delusional.
Okay.
The women who are receptive. Now I sound like I'm a women defender.
It's okay. We want you to do whatever you allowed to defend these
No,
women.
what I'm
I
saying-
look at as delusional,
No, you're
thinking they
missing
could
the
go
point.
to a gym.
Anybody who gives themselves to an ideology is delusional. So the women who's given themselves to this feminist movement is delusional. Women aren't delusional. The people who match the feminist movement is no different than a Jim Jones movement, right? Jim Jones.
Of
the guy from
course,
Jones
of course.
Camp, who made them drink all the Kool-Aid. The
At
movement is
at gunpoint.
Yes, exactly.
At
But what
gunpoint.
I'm saying, but this movement isn't much different. If you got this movement condensed into a there was some place in South America, you condense that movement into a small area, got about 900 people. The same thing would happen. It's the same. What I'm saying is that it's the same way as the feminist movement that they're talking about is and what's being pushed forward in society. The only purpose of it is to divide women and men. It's divide normal
I agree.
family values in order to bolster.
But in
smaller
the process,
entities.
these individuals that you speak of that
Yeah.
are delusional are now groups.
They're soldiers. I'm saying
Yes.
anybody can be.
Any woman who
If you
goes
have
to the
somebody on a
gym
box,
and
you
thinks
have
they can
somebody-
lift up 550 pounds, dude, is representing more than just herself.
I agree with you, but it's not. But that's not what I'm saying. Is I think there's a sub. What they're talking about is the women that have. We still agree that women want to do certain things with their men. Women want to be a certain way towards their men. Women want a certain man. We all agree that women want a man who align with more traditional values than what's being put forth by society. Those women still exist and are prominent. Whatever is being pushed forward.
Those women exist.
The women that are pushed forth in I know the place that a woman like Amber Rose, I don't mean to reference the other video, is trying to lead women is to that delusional place. The place where women are being led to a delusion. I don't believe I don't believe men are naturally beta, alpha, or anything. Men are just naturally whoever they came to be. So in other words, if you're naturally afraid of confrontation, you're naturally going to manifest as a beta. If you're naturally confrontational and aggressive and more confident and sure about yourself, you're going to manifest as an alpha. And the same thing aligns with women. I don't think women are any more than they were in the past than they are now. I just think that now there's a narrative of women, to lead women to a certain way to be, and to lead men in a certain way to be the same way they lead these women.
Yeah, they're being
But
led.
women are naturally delusional. But is what I'm saying is they're being led astray.
by feminism.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
World. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. That's what happens when if all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's the bottom line of reality. That's the bottom line. So you have to understand as a woman and say, okay,
But no
I need a man who's good at
saying-
being a man.
But no one's saying that we don't need men in society. Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
Then whoa. That was some double speak shit just there.
Like, in
That
my
was some
day-to-day
double
life,
speak.
I don't need a
Pause
man
it.
to fix my car. I'll just go to the
Let's go back.
mechanic.
Let me go back real quick.
Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
I pause. You can't. You're
I
talking
can
about
live-
independence of a woman, and you're talking about if you're talking about relationships, then you're not talking about yourself living yourself as a woman without needing a man.
You see, the problem is the supermarket. The supermarket. First of all, one of the main things about the supermarket is there's so many, like let's say you walk down the cereal aisle or you know what's a good aisle? The salad dressing aisle. Walk down the salad dressing aisle. There's no way you believe that you're not free if you have that many choices. It's a trick put on humans, the supermarket, to have us believe that we're truly free of choice. And all the choices that we're making are that of our own,
I see what the point you're making.
right?
You're saying that. It's,
So now, here's another problem with the supermarket. It has convinced women that they can survive because the chicken, you didn't have to cut the chicken's neck and get blood all over your damn shoes.
all right, but
You didn't have to pluck the chicken. You didn't have to cut the gizzards. The gizzards are in a nice little bag for you.
But every single person who's ever existed is a slave to their geography. So if somebody can only find things in the particular supermarket they're in, and those are the options they're presented, that's going to be their reality. So if someone's only in one part of the world, they're only going to have a specific supermarket to pick from based on and that's a great thing that this Thomas Sowell, who I was telling you about, brings up. That
Who?
Thomas Sowell.
Okay.
Thomas Sowell is an economist. He was a big conservative black writer, very intelligent man. But one of the things he references is how Africa evolved, how Africa wasn't always necessarily based on oppression. A lot of regions where they have like tribal regions or things, that was based on the geography and where they would adjust to where they had to get water.
I get
and
that.
They would base their
I understand
society around
that. But with that being said, there's still my analogy, I believe, still stands. If you ain't got to kill the cow, if you don't got to get the eggs from the chicken coop, if you don't have to kill the chicken,
But that's a different analogy.
you don't have
than
to.
the supermarket.
The
Those are two
supermarket is
completely different
providing
analogies.
women with the idea that they are self-sufficient and they don't need a man.
That's the key.
No, I don't understand that.
Get so this is to make a little bit.
I have a whole
clearer
treatment on the
sense.
supermarket,
You
bro.
don't
think
get
about
that.
this, you talk about you're a slave to your geography. The geography that's been created in the Western world is like for you to get your food is to walk to the supermarket and get your chicken. Somebody else's geography in the Caribbean, say Haiti, you have a lot of folks who are actually raising their chicken. And for them to have their chicken is to go out there, is to get it, kill it, pluck it, and do all those things. A lot of things that a lot of people in the Western society couldn't even bear to do, even though they love chicken.
They couldn't even
So
do
you're,
it.
you're
Just
talking
can't
about,
do it.
but you're talking about, you guys are talking about someone being self-sufficient relative to somebody, somebody
supermarket.
having options.
So they
you're
were
talking about
the-
self-sufficiency versus options at the supermarket
The
and
op-
being able to make your app. That's two
You
completely separate
hear the thing.
options.
It comes full circle when that option ends because the truck doesn't go to the supermarket. And all of a
Right.
sudden, the supermarket is empty now. So now what do?
That can
reality-
be determined geographically. Like there's a
Right.
dam that's blocking it. That can be. So you're just saying natural. You're just like saying, oh, this is natural. This is natural impediment. This is a societal impediment. Therefore, so you're still reacting to a societal impediment the same way you're reacting to a natural impediment, and that's why the same way you're saying people are adjusting to the society. People are adjusting to nature.
So-
I don't think either way is not any more contrived than the other.
The big,
All right, go ahead.
the big difference is that the person that have the former, geographic reality, they could come into this one and possibly still survive. If the
That's not
supermarket
necessarily
shut down.
true.
Yes.
May not necessarily, but what we know for a
Yes.
fact is the person who only have this geography, it'll be much harder for them to survive.
It's harder to get in America. That's a literally false statement because in America it's harder. If you were born, say you're more self-sufficient. In America, the way America is constructed, it doesn't behoove you to be self-sufficient. In other words, it's harder enough and harder to get places where you can have grass grow or have fields grow without the volatility of certain weather. Because in America, compared to Africa, you have you're subterranean. You have more. You're more indicative of being able to grow stuff spontaneously. You're in America, you have to adjust to those crazy seasons.
Let me say this.
Great. It would have been great.
Talk about.
It would have been great if that was your only limitation. Do you know that it's against the law for you to grow your own food?
Exactly, but that's also part of it. I agree with you. Yes, you're right. I know that point is also true. All right, go ahead.
So that's kind of like societal. So it's like, it's ushering you into this place
Belief
of-
system.
Yes.
You
and
still
that's
have to
everything's
adjust.
on.
You still
All
have
right.
to adjust.
Would you deny that women have a belief system that they can take care of themselves and they're self-sufficient and they can survive?
An American society, but American society has made that able to be
A Western
possibility.
society, a Western.
Well, wait, that's what we're
Like,
talking about.
not necessarily America. Well, I'm also talking about European.
Western society has made it so women have the opportunity to actually be able to pay for themselves and support themselves without you're talking peace of mind is a whole different thing. Feeling safe as a woman, that has nothing to do with your ability to support yourself as a woman. I'm not talking about from opinion making. I'm talking about objectively. Objectively, it's not. Objectively, women in Western society have the opportunities to be able to build their own nest egg and stuff like that. I'm not saying, but is what I'm saying not making sense to y'all?
I
Did
think
say like I'm
I
defending
just
women.
I don't
I'm
care
saying-
if you defend women. I don't have
I'm
a
not
problem.
defending women,
I don't
'cause
have
I
a problem with you
spent-
defending women. I don't think you're defending women. I think you're making your point. I'm making the point that the supermarket has convinced these women that they can survive without a man. Just the way it has convinced us that we're free. There's no way we're not free with that many damn cereals to choose from.
Oh, girl, stop
Like
it.
in my day-to-day life, I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
Listen, right?
But is the mechanic a man or a woman?
No, I'm saying yes, we need men in society, but in relationship, the only reason I actually need you is because I want you. I don't actually need you.
Do you know what?
I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. But the things I don't need you in my day-to-day life.
What if someone, but wait, what if someone breaks into your house?
I'll just call the police.
Okay,
And
what
also,
if-
what? First of all,
what
most
if
men.
the
First of all,
average-
First of all,
in the US, it takes
the
like
same way men aren't as about that life as we think they are. So a motherfucker who has a man in the house, a woman who has a man in the house, and someone breaks in, you think they're gonna be all prepared to know what to do? The only thing that serves as a man in the house is a deterrent, which they wouldn't break
But
in.
even
They
the
wouldn't be able to
weakest
protect you
weakest
necessarily.
man will be standing in front of his woman.
That's
I don't
my
know
point.
if that's true.
I
don't
think
know
it
that
is
that's
true. I think it
don't
is
know-
true.
How do we know how someone's going to react in a home invasion?
Exactly. So you
situation?
can't say they wouldn't.
But we can't say they would.
Yes,
the point
we
is
can.
that
Because
we can't say how they would
historically,
act. That's the point.
historically, men are the protectors. Women are choosing a protector.
Yeah, but
Except for these feminists that are choosing beta men to have their
but
babies
these
with.
men raised in societies aren't natural. They haven't been they don't have to be in a situation where they even have to evolve those skills.
So you're
Those skills
thinking
aren't innate.
that women are jumping in front of a man.
I'm not talking about
To
jumping
stop
in
an
front.
intruder.
I'm saying both of them will be cowering. I'm not saying either of them will be tough. I'm
I
saying
didn't hear you
both
say
of them
that.
will be
I
cowering.
didn't get that.
But
Both
the point
of
I
them,
was making
believe
is that,
yes.
but that's what I'm saying. That the entire point I was making, that just because a man's there doesn't mean that we're able to stop something from going down. Just because
They'll die first.
You have a home invader. That's
The man will die
No,
first.
that's immediately that's based on the home invader making that decision, not the man.
No.
The home invader is making that decision so the man it's
The
easier to
man
deal with
is
the woman.
looked at as the aggressor. He will die first. Ulrich.
No, because they don't want anything from.
Ulrich, if an intruder's coming in, he's laying down the man.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's not because a man will necessarily be brave and be valiant and fight. That's just because.
No, but you're talking as an individual.
Based on a
I'm
home
talking
intruder's
about
point of view.
You're talking about as an individual.
The
Of
likely-
course, there's a scared nigga out there who's gonna be underneath the bed, scared to death. Let me tell you, he's dying first.
But he's gonna die first, even if he's tough or scared.
Exactly,
The same outcome. But that's
exactly.
what I'm saying. So the man makes no difference in being the protector. That's my point. My whole point is the man makes no difference. How a man is gonna react is not the protector. How a man.
Hold on, let me hear what the doctor says.
It might be true, but the point is that's not the point. The point is the fact that having a man there serve as an extra layer of protection for her. And the
Period.
thing about it is
I never disagree with that point.
the home intruder that comes in, he's going to lay the guy down first because he's going to automatically be deemed as the bigger threat.
I agree.
Exactly.
I never disagree
So
with
those
that.
are.
Sounds like you did.
I agree.
I would
said
argue
that.
you
Didn't I
did
say
disagree
that?
with that.
You know,
I said that the
No,
man
you're
would die
saying
first. Didn't I
that
say
you're
the
saying
man
that
would
they
die first?
equally would be scared
I'm
and
saying that-
cowering,
I'm saying the
and
man
that
would-
there's no truth that he will be the
But
protector.
regardless of how he
He's
acts,
perceived as the protector.
No, he's perceived as an okay.
He's
Protector.
perceived as the protector. A
No,
person comes into the
but
home.
He has no value for them. The man has no value for the agitator. A man in the house, a woman can be either used for leverage, for ransom, can be used for sexual leverage. A woman can be used for many things by that man. A man can only be bad. A man has no. It's not that a man is necessarily a block. It's that a man has no positive value for this intruder. So it's more so than that. You're arguing that the intruder would attack the man because he's a man and he's a deterrent. I don't disagree with that point, but I agree that it's more than that. It's more than just that the man can be a threat. It's that the man has no value for them, especially if the intruder is also a male.
Wait, what if someone breaks into your house?
I'll just call the police.
Okay, what if they don't come? What if the average in the US it takes like 15 in the US it takes like 15 minutes for them to get there.
But that's not realistic.
Wait,
That doesn't happen on a day-to-day life.
These two guys in your house, what are you doing?
But that's not realistic. I've not had any man break into my house on a day-to-day. It doesn't happen.
The point is,
So let's be
I know
realistic now.
I know what you're saying, but the point is this. The point is, when we're talking about feminism as a whole demonizes men. And you just sat and said, besides procreation, I don't need a man in my life. I can go to a male mechanic or call a male police officer. They're men. So
In society, you are needed. I agree.
Okay,
Of course, we need you.
Of course. So you're talking about being with a man because you want to. So my question to you is, why would you want to be with a man?
Why would a man want to be with you?
Because they're sexy.
Like, obviously, because of the I love men. No, I love dick.
Don't say like it, but it's not all about dick. What I'm trying to say is that in a good relationship, right, one that works, there's blue jobs and there's pink jobs. Right? And that's the problem that women have got.
Oh, geez.
They don't want to be doing no pink jobs.
But that's not
Do you
what
know
we're
what I mean?
talking about. We're talking about relationships. Why do you need a man in a relationship? Because you want a partner.
What's companionship, friendship, romantic love, things that you can't get by yourself.
Like you want to go on dates with him. It's not about I need someone to fix my car. Go to a mechanic.
She's making sense. Seriously, she's making the most sense that won't make sense to Andrew Tate.
Wait, what about a father to your kids? You don't think your kids
Exactly.
need
I definitely want that. These are the stuff. This is the reason
no,
why
you
need
need
a man.
that.
I agree.
Wait. It's not that you want it. You need it.
I agree. And these are the stuff that I need in a man. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not like I completely need you. It's
But
like I want
the
you.
lights went out tomorrow, you would need a man.
In
There's
society,
It's
agree.
No, not how society is made. Literally, objectively, how society is made.
Hold up. Let me hear Pearl.
Tomorrow, you would need someone to protect you. You
Yes,
would.
of course.
Can
In
I-
society, not my boyfriend.
I'll go
Can
underground.
like, half of my exes can't even do anything.
That's the point. That's my point. That's my point. That's my whole point.
Yeah, but look at this woman
But that's
is
the- that's what
choosing
you gonna
men.
track. That's what
She's
you gonna
choosing
track.
men that can't do
She's choosing men
anything.
not to protect. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with her point that she's not looking for a man to protect her. I agree with that. I completely agree because most men are not aggressive. Most men cannot put two punches together. So it has nothing to do with the protection aspect. And women can physically can live. Listen,
When the lights go out, a woman is going to be okay. In a purge situation, you know.
oh, in a purge situation, most men won't be okay. What are we talking about? In a purge situation,
Let me just say this.
Come on.
Do you know what's going on in Ohio?
Talk to me.
And do you know what's going about the budget? There's no money for the cops to pay the cops. There's a whole thing going on right now in America where January 1st, there's no budget for a few cities in Chicago and in, what did I just say? Ohio.
Ironically, those places, right?
Yeah. And there's no police. They won't be paying any police, any garbage men, all these services are not working because they couldn't come to a budget agreement. And even if they come to a budget agreement today, before the New Year's, it's still going to be 10 days with no services.
And women with men are going to be just as vulnerable as a single woman. Trust me.
Women with men.
Woman with a man is going to be if in a purge situation, especially if you're just a man with a girlfriend, your ass is going to be grass.
Who will fare better though?
Fare better compared to what?
A
It's going to
single
take
woman,
an extra
a
minute?
single woman,
An
and
extra minute? What are
a
we
single
talking about?
woman and a man and a woman. Who
I'm
will fare
saying
better?
Who's going to kick in let me just say this to you. If let's say there's a purge type situation, the cops are not, which is happening.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
No.
For you, a man with a girlfriend.
No. Let me finish my
point,
point, please. Let me finish my point. Me and my boys, we're gonna go, and we're gonna take whatever we want, right? How many of us are gonna go to the house with the boyfriend there?
If you have a
Me and my 5 buddies.
probably all of y'all, unless you know that place to have a group of men.
You wouldn't. My argument is that we're gonna go to the house where there's the single woman before we go to the house
Well,
where there's
in a purge situation, there'd be no house for single women. But if there's no,
Why wouldn't there be a house with single women?
Because if they know a purge situation is gonna happen, I think women. I don't think women are. I think women will be smart enough to know they need to get in a group, not just need to find one man.
And you think these are going to be groups of women getting together?
No. A group, find a group with men, and ideally the best group would be a group with more men. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with a group with more men will be more formidable than a group with less men. I'm saying,
like you are.
A man cannot protect a man cannot protect a woman.
There's
in
a
purge
part of me
situation.
that thinks that, Rick, you don't want to be responsible for another person's life. and you're transferring those feelings onto this. Like, there's like I have my father, right? When he doesn't like to take my children out.
Yeah.
Because he says he doesn't want to be responsible. He doesn't want to be with my kids and somebody gets hit by a car and he has to explain to me what happened. He don't want no parts of that. So he would rather not even take them. So he'll come to the house and hang with them, and he gets down on the floor and he plays with them and he does all that like cool stuff, but he don't want to be responsible for other people. I think that's where you're coming from too.
But no. But I want a child. I want all the responsibility with having a child. With a grown ass woman, unless somebody's challenging me directly when I'm walking with this grown ass woman, that shouldn't be a situation where I need to go out of my way to protect.
I don't think Ulrich wants to protect none of these women. I think we've gotten to the bottom of what's really going on. Ulrich is like, whoa, I ain't dying for this chick right here. She's my girlfriend. We don't even have kids. I'm not dying for nobody.
I'll say this. I'm more like for a child, especially my child, I would fight for with all my heart. For a woman,
That we don't deny. There's the other part that's you still.
I'm not fighting for no. First of all, for one thing, I'm damn not fighting. If a man challenged me directly, I'm probably gonna get into some physical altercation. If I'm in a situation where I'm trying to think.
You're on the train. You're sitting with your girlfriend. A guy comes over and he says, "Damn girl, you looking good."
No, because he's trying me then.
What's gonna happen?
He's trying me then.
There'll be altercation.
If he acknowledges, if he didn't see me, if he knows that I'm there and knows me to be there and addresses when there, I'm gonna say something. If he did not,
T. Riddler says, Ulrich wants to smash, but don't want to protect or provide for the mother of his children. Yeah, the truth is coming out here. Premium black news, y'all. Premium black news. If you think the 205-pound, 5'11", bald-headed black man is gonna just be holding you down, you better think twice, because he believes that women have the right to protect.
Fend for yourself.
Fend for yourselves, ladies. Ulrich ain't gonna be there for you. Let's play.
The feminist movement.
Yeah. I'm glad we were able to get to the bottom of that.
Of course, can I society, not my boyfriend. Can I half of my exes can't even do anything. Can I?
That's actually another problem. A lot of men can't do much.
You know what I mean?
Not everybody's
in this day and age, guys can't even fit a tire. You cannot.
You know what? Guys can't change the tire. The average guy doesn't know how to change the tire, but in 10-15 minutes he'll figure it out faster than a woman. That's a fact. You can give a woman a YouTube channel. She's not going to be able to have the strength to get that last lug out, because there's usually 4 or 5 lugs and 3 of them are easy, but those last 2, it ain't going to come off. She's going to have to walk. Where the guy at least will be able to muster up the strength.
to be honest, I'm not good after a while. Like, I'm not good.
Can I just say something? This is why you can't blame all men for your poor choices. You can't say, I'm talking to both of you because you're saying, yeah, my man can't do this, my man can't do that. What? And you want to settle down. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted them to do? Because my man could do all the blue jobs.
I need a man because most men grow up with a PlayStation instead. Most men grow up with a PlayStation and porn and things. No, that's the truth.
Speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
Listen, you
Listen,
said.
I'll tell you what,
I don't need a mechanic as my boyfriend.
You know what?
I need a father to my children.
I like that. I like that a lot.
She needs a police officer. She needs a father for her children, right? So she's gonna go out there, right? And you're gonna buy your child an electric car. You're gonna go and buy your child a bicycle. Who the hell's gonna put the bicycle and fix the electric car? Who's gonna do it?
You got YouTube. I know how to do these things.
I fix the Bentley. Why do you
fix the Bentley?
And you can do everything yourself. Go and get some sperm donor or something because you obviously don't need a man.
That's the future, I think,
And the thing is, that's the future for who?
No, for
That's the problem.
society.
Because at the end of the day,
What year are you living in?
the
What
year that
year
you're
are
supposed
you
to
living
live
in?
Because
You act like we are in the Stone Age.
Let me finish talking, right? Now you got a man, right? And you've been busy all day, right? And you're in your bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, and your man comes in with all of his friends and said, "Oh, babes, all the friends are here. They're hungry. What are you gonna do?"
Yeah, I'll cook for my man. I'm a traditional woman in that aspect.
Yeah,
I love to cook
Why
for my
is it that
man.
when people start cooking, they think that cooking is traditional? It's everything. It's not just about cooking. They always say, "I cook for my man, so I'm traditional."
Wait. I have a question. Are you a virgin? You're traditional, you're a virgin.
Are you a virgin?
Nobody like.
I'm not gonna comment on me being a
she's
virgin or
not. I don't
not.
believe
What
it.
I'm gonna say is every human being should be able to cook.
She's a hybrid of tradition and
I'm a person
modernization.
that survives. You know, I need to cook to survive.
Can I ask Mr. Tate something, right? Right, I'm gonna ask you something.
Sure.
Right, because I I don't like bullshit, right? And there's got some people that I can't
Why
even
is it
bear
exciting,
talking to,
man?
right? So I'm going to talk to him because so far he's talking sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
You're
giving
welcome.
pick me.
Right.
No.
Who said pick me? Listen, who just said pick
They
me?
want me. Don't look
No,
at
did
me.
you
oh.
say
I said
Did you say pick me?
give him
Hang on.
pick me.
Give him
Because
pick
we're
me.
having a whole conversation.
Listen,
And
right.
I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mr. Tate.
Hang on a minute. I've been with my man for 32 years.
Clap for
right?
yourself.
32 years. I don't need to clap for myself because I'm happy. I'm not here. And what I was going to ask him, right, is how would you think a woman? Would you think
Why are you
that
shouting?
woman?
Can you
Would you
calm
think that
down?
woman?
She
Calm down.
exposing herself,
I'm
that black
you don't want to hear me
She
shout.
exposing herself.
Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now, is this your idea of a woman that you think deserves a man? I'm here, single, but I'm looking. I'm here. I'm like taking, if you want to hook me up, let me know. And I just want anybody, but choose. How does that make you feel? What is that kind of woman that you think deserves a man?
Well, he's a top G. You can't be asking him this
But
question.
you're not top G, isn't it?
We're mere mortals,
Speak for
auntie.
yourself. I'm no mere mortal.
I'm a mere mortal in his presence.
Because nobody
Come on now.
me. I
Which
am
kind
not
of
a
question
mere
be
mortal.
that?
Auntie, unlike you, we have options.
I'm a mere
Unlike you,
man.
we have options.
Not even
auntie.
this 8.5.
Where's your ring?
Where's your ring if
They
you're
got,
an
they
option?
got one too many women on this show. They going bananas right now. They got some cackling thing. They're attacking each other.
Hang on a minute. You said, unlike you, I have options.
We have options. Yeah.
You're out here looking for a man. You're out here saying that you're looking
When
for a man.
did I say I was looking for a man?
Oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions. That's what you said.
I said I was doing
That is what you
interviews.
said.
I didn't say I was going out looking for a man. I said I'm doing interviews. You can't listen to me. I got to decide if I want you.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the insult.
I'm not insulting you.
Hang on, listen.
I'm
What
not
do you call it?
insulting you.
Sign language. I'm learning. Sign language. Right? Listen to what she just said to me. Unlike you, I have options. Fucking 32 years. You think I want options? I'm happy with my
It's
man.
giving you don't really
I'm
have
happy
much
with my
options though. Because the way
No,
you're like,
it's not pick me. Auntie, she meant clout. Wait. She meant Esther. I'm sure you didn't mean pick me. You meant clout chaser. Is that what it
It
is?
doesn't matter.
We can go with that too.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to clarify your problem. I was just saying.
You have totally lost it. Why would I want to have options when I've been in a happy relationship for 32
No,
years?
clout chasers his fans.
It don't make no sense.
You can monetize on YouTube with clout.
You see, can I say something?
You were the one advertising at the beginning of the show.
I said I'm doing interviews. I wasn't advertising nothing.
It's banter.
Wait.
Now she's backpedaling. No, you said that you were doing interviews and you ready to mingle and all that stuff. Yes, you did say that. It's like this woman has been with her man for 30-something years. And this young woman tells this older woman that, unlike you, I have options.
That was rude.
The nerve of this woman to ever say to another woman, like my woman, we've been together 18 years. If anything, she needs to shut the F up and listen to what she has to say.
But she wasn't coming at her how a grown woman would come
She
at
called
a young
her
woman.
pick me.
She wasn't.
She
Yeah,
said,
that's not how a grown
Mr.
woman would come.
Tate. She said, Mr. Tate, let me ask you a
That's
question.
not how a grown woman would come at a young woman. She didn't come at her like as someone with more experience. She came at her like she was actually her equal. So that's why I'm saying she was. I think she exposed that old lady because that old lady you're an old woman. You're supposed to check her and put her in her place.
Well, she's 50.
competing
She's
with her.
53. She's not an old woman.
She's competing with her.
She's
competing
middle-aged.
but
She's not an
she's
old
competing
woman.
with this woman, an older woman. She's
Yeah.
competing with this woman.
She's not competing with the.
She's
So
she's
you're saying
competing
that the
with this woman.
50-year-old woman is competing with this young woman?
Doc, you don't think that this like when you've seen women get in altercations? Have you seen? Well, I'm
No,
assuming.
I've seen it. I mean, from the very beginning, I said my initial view of her. She
Who?
kind of like represent
Auntie.
the older woman. She represent like the male perspective in a feminine voice, and she's loud about it. So I think she kind of takes it up to really go at the girls and try to make all the points that you would naturally think that Andrew would be making, and when she get tired of talking, I think she tried to pull Andrew in.
Well, let me say this. She also has
understandable.
a successful 30-year relationship. This
I'm not
listen
trying
to
to
listen. Let me
belittle
just let me just say this. My wife has a friend that used to hate when we first got together. And we were just talking about this the other day. We were saying how, like, yo, how's that friend doing? She said, oh, I recently got back in touch with this friend and she's living in this state. You know, this friend of hers has moved to many different states throughout the last 18 years. And this friend has been with a lot of men in the last 18 years, where arguably, I don't know for a fact, but arguably, my wife has only been with me. And this is a woman who hated me, who felt that she was losing her friend because her friend went from wearing Jordans to wearing high heels. Because when my wife met me, she started wearing shoes. When my wife met me, she started wearing makeup. When my wife met me, she took out the braids and she was wearing her hair in a different way. She got rid of that, like, looking like she was a ball player and looking like a beautiful woman. You saw the picture of us on my 32nd birthday.
Yeah,
the
glamorous one.
The glamorous woman. She went from looking and satisfying her friend's needs to what a friend should look like to now looking like what a man wants to see. And for this young woman to tell this woman, just when she said, Mr. Tate, she referred to him as Mr. Tate, and automatically she said, now you sound like a pick-me. So this young...
Wait, the young woman called the old woman a pick-me? I thought it was the other way around.
No, the young woman called the older woman a pick-me because she said Mr. Tate.
Listen, I disagree with her talking to the older woman like that. That's disrespectful. But what I think she was alluding to was that guy was using Mr. Tate, using Andrew to bolster her argument.
It doesn't. I get that.
If she was able to articulate, she talked disrespectfully, and so she did show her youth. I'm not saying this woman is. I'm not trying to defend her. I like her because I like her points. But how she came at that older woman wrong. But that old woman came back at her like she was an equal.
She's 53 years old. She's middle aged.
Okay.
She's not old.
The older woman came at her like she talked to her like she was her equal, not that she was an older, more experienced person. And I think
let me just tell you, this younger woman who's looking for a man and taking application also said, I love D.
She should never call a younger. First of all, she should never call a younger man Mr. Tate for one of them. First of all, he should be calling you Miss whatever you are.
You don't think she should call him Mr. Tate?
An older woman. I don't think an older woman should be talking to him.
Well, that shows her submissiveness. So no matter how aggressive,
no matter how a grandmama should never be small.
See, well, that's an interesting take that you have.
Who, me?
No.
Ulrich, a grandma
should never be, because it's
unless to her husband. She shouldn't be. I don't think she should never give that kind of. If first of all, if that was my wife,
Mr. Tate, I want women to call me Mr. Elvis, Mr. Elvis Rosenberg. I don't care how old they are. That's a sign of respect.
She talks to him with more respect than he talks to with her. I feel like.
Of course.
I feel like that's different. That's wrong for a younger. He's like in his 30s. She's in his 50s. She shouldn't be talking to him with reverence. That's what I disagree with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course, we understand.
I don't think she should be talking to him with the reverence she is.
Okay.
And she seems
let's get back
that
to
does
this.
sound more like a.
How much more time we got on this one?
Well, I don't have enough battery power for us to go too much longer.
Auntie had a question for Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
What was your question?
Oh, she asked already.
You didn't answer because everybody's too busy jumping. Everybody's too busy jumping in. I already asked, but you're too busy jumping in and being women.
He's
to be
patient.
listening. So
He's
now
ready to get married.
You can all shut up and let him answer, innit?
I'll answer. Yeah. So to go back to one of my earlier points. Firstly, to make it clear in the disagreement, I agree with. Of course, I think everyone knows who I agree with. But I do, because you know what it is, though. You know what's actually funny? The things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. All of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe that if we completely fuck it all up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix it.
destroyed. It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's been
Man
by the
has
same
destroyed
power of
Earth.
men.
That's
Now
not
want
man
men to
built.
go to wars
No, the
and
middle
want
one,
women
the
to
girl in
lose
the middle.
husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
All
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making is now we're entering a world of new think. And the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing.
That's the
Everyone's
best
guessing,
point
right?
he's made. That's
So
a
we're entering a brand
perfect
new
point.
paradigm and everything's
I agree.
completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up.
Right.
The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female, people always say, you know, the number of emails I get from girls that say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you do that?
I'll tell you, one of the ways a man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date a girl and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then I'd say, oh, I met this girl, yeah, she's this. Oh, yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her. Like, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date. So you went, the attraction goes from this to zero. Done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices, but men like me who genuinely have unlimited options, we want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for, because that gives status. That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female with all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend or when you're looking for a boyfriend, etc., and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure. Da, da, da. It's not about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays home. She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me. That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G. Boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize I'm a ninja. I detect these things. Even when I'm looking directly ahead, I can detect it. So
That's why you wear
I'm going to give her
shades.
some of my Clementine, and she's going to feel better. So I'm going to get a Clementine. Would you like some Clementine, my dear?
I'm sure.
You want some Clementine?
I think for me, it's like,
I asked you a question. Would you
yeah,
like
I would love some.
You
Yeah.
want some Clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming. All right.
She's
go on, continue.
submitting to him, so like she's not
No,
even
I mean,
speaking.
I just feel like this
I'm
is
talking about Brittany.
definitely
Yeah,
a
she
different
talks a lot,
conversation
too.
for
Yes.
me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective, and I do feel like this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience, other women that I've met as well, it's like the reason for even like relationships why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat but not for you, my thing is like, why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you? That's like to me where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's
All
like,
right.
why can't we have
So,
transparency?
okay.
If I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it no no man in a million years? Let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is gonna meet a girl he likes and go, look, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong.
Yeah.
That is how
Time, resources,
Provide and
and
protect.
something else.
time resources. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man, yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I fly private, I go to Dubai anytime I want, I have a Chanel bag. And I'm not talking about just money, I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle as a whole. This is not just me, this is the world and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife, she's pushing a Bentley, she has a kid, she's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
But she's
you-
just like, whatever, don't care, I'm the one who has the money, don't give a shit. So you have to sit there, and to a point you have to sit and analyze the difference. When you're saying disrespect, if you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're gonna end up doing is having a bunch of failed relationships and fucking loads of dudes.
Okay.
There has to get a point where you go, you know what, this guy ticks so many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid, I'm looked after, I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem, he's gonna fix it. He's ticked so many. That's the smart female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me, he fucked that bitch once, so I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch. So end the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I
I
examples
don't know,
though?
wait.
We're gonna end that.
Yeah.
We're gonna end it here because this is like a 3-hour podcast. Even though I do like this, what we're doing.
That was a good
A
place
good
to
ending. Yeah, a good. We might come back this week possibly.
Yeah.
The doc is a busy guy. He's doing. Can I say what you're doing? This guy's doing Botox parties. He's lining them up and fixing all these lines, and he's a busy man. And he's good at it. So if we can find time later on in this week, we might finish the rest of this show. I want to just champion what he just said, if you don't mind. It's like a smart woman turns a blind eye when the man is exhausting options. I'm not going to call it cheating. We're going to do it like Kevin Samuel said. When you exhaust options, a woman is going to turn the blind eye. We were recently talking about a woman, and we were talking to a woman, the three of us, and she says she's recently single, a mother of 3. And she says that the reason why she's a single mother of 3 is because the husband cheated on her with his ex-girlfriend. And because she has a daughter, she wanted to set the example by leaving the father, which I would say, and I'll take this from Kevin Samuels as well, she destroyed her home. It wasn't him that destroyed his home by smashing the ex. I would think that the fact that he smashed the ex and didn't go meet a new chick is better than him going out there meeting some new chick and getting sprung. If he just went out there, hooked up with the ex, is because he knows where he's going. The ex, she does that thing that he likes. He don't even have the heart to tell his wife what the ex does that he likes, because she, it's exclusive to them. So every 9 months, 8 months, he slides over and lets her do the thing that he likes. This woman leaves this man and now is a single mother of 3 because she says that she wanted to set the example for her daughter. What I would argue is that she should have showed her daughter how strong her mother was by still being with the man who comes home to her and the kids. And yeah, he yeah, he was, and then my thing is, how does the daughter even know that the father was doing anything? That means you're including your children in this drama. You're putting your children against mommy. Daddy didn't love mommy enough to just be with only her. So, I could just go on and on for another 10 minutes with that, but let me just say this to you. I'm riding with Andrew Tate, and I'm riding with Auntie, and I'm riding with Pearl. And I'm also riding with all the other women that were there, because this is a true good discussion where you don't want to bring in everybody who's like, yeah. That's not what you're going to get here. Premium Black News. Ulrich is going to go 10 toes down on how he feels. And he's not going to compromise with terrorists. And that's just a person with another idea that he doesn't have. He's not going to negotiate with terrorists. He's not going to compromise his value system and his ideals to appease you out there or us in here. That's what Premium Black News is bringing you. We're bringing you a true, objective perspective from a medical doctor, an educator, and me, Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, ex-chef, ex-bar guy, and now a dispensary guy here in New York City. 49 years old, bringing you truth the way we see it. And if you see truth differently, that's what the comment section is for. If you see what we're doing differently, that's what the comment section is for. But all of that I say to say this. This is a value for value show. And we need you to express that by hitting the Cash App and the Venmo. Cash App, $ Elvis Rosenberg. Venmo, at Elvis-Rosenberg. I want you to express yourself. Don't do like you did last week. We're here for over 2.5 hours. Show some respect the way we show you respect. I'm Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg.
I'm Ulrich.
I'm Doc the surgeon, the people's doctor. It was a great night.
Not too shabby.
It was good to see you.
And you know I love you. And that's a fact. Looking right at you, right in your eyes. Only because it's true.